And we are live. Josh and Zach, are we human or are we dancer?
I'm on my knees looking for an answer.
And Zach has the answer. That's why we keep him around. I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Zach.
You've got questions?
Yo, feeling grounded.
Oh, how I missed this intro.
Back at it, boys.
Welcome to
We're a little bit slow today.
Grounded with your host.
Hey, I think that makes the
Josh and
free
Joe.
fall action that much more enjoyable.
Welcome, Zach.
All
Well,
right.
thank you.
Yeah.
This is so fancy. We're live now, man. Now I can't say anything dumb, or else it's going to be on record forever.
Well, I'm
And
here,
now,
so
I'm feeling more self-conscious. Okay.
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
simple. Just don't be dumb.
Okay. You know what? A lot of people have told me that in my life, and it's a lot harder, I think, than it sounds.
Words to live by.
No, exactly.
But man, Twitch. Are we gonna start gaming or something? Is this a let's play? What are we playing, boys?
We're gonna
Changing the whole format of the show.
Hey guys, we'll do some Minecraft Let's Play today.
All right, I'm on. Let's do it. What are we building? A big square? I like big squares.
There you go. Exactly.
Well, you got to start from the ground up. Actually, that's probably the best segue. Guys, if you are listening, if you are kind of tuning in for the first time, this is Feeling Grounded podcast. And we stream on Twitch every Sunday at 3 p.m. And then we put the same episode on YouTube at 3 p.m. same time on YouTube. And then the following day on other platforms that we have on our Instagram page, which is at Feeling Grounded Podcast, you'll see the other links that we are a part of, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and others as well. Those are at 3 p.m. on Saturday. If you need me to repeat that, I'm not going to.
You can just
And-
go back in our video.
Stick
Unless
with
it's
us.
today.
I'll say it again, but your punishment is you have to stay the whole time.
We did get on at 3:01 today, so I think we're already breaking the rules and the commitments here.
Oh man, yeah. It's over. It's
That's it.
over.
They're booting us out.
Career
Or you
over.
guys. It's not my show.
This is our one source of income.
That's, yeah.
You know how much guest fee I'm getting right now?
Nice.
All right.
So I have to comment on how we're all wearing a dark shirt. Now I know Joe, you said it was navy, but it definitely looks black.
Yeah, it looks black.
I'm colorblind,
Oh.
so it's black.
And
Yeah.
I'm rocking the black as well.
The
Is it-
navy
did
black.
You go to a
colorblind.
funeral before this?
No, I went to church. So
So did I too.
it's,
And
it's like it depends on the way you look at it, I suppose. But
Death to
Um,
self, right?
yeah, yes, I mean, and Christ died for us and everything. So what do you know? I mean, look at it. It's springtime and we're celebrating with the color of death. That's
Yeah,
what we're
I
all
bet that.
doing right now.
I know.
we're mourning
the first day of
because it's the
spring.
end of winter. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like first day of spring is like right around the corner here.
That's today. Today's the
Is
first
it?
day of spring. Yeah.
I always get lost. I know it's like in
Yeah,
the
whether it's the
20-somethings.
21st or 20th, it's today. It's today. Yeah,
Yeah. What day is
Wow.
today? The 20th. Okay.
the 20th. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you better know that, Joe, because we got to talk about history. So you better know what
It's true.
what the date is.
Goober.
Yeah. So we did not plan this. Everyone watching, this was just coincidental that we are all wearing black / very dark navy blue.
That looks like black.
That looks cool.
Love it.
Which maybe if you don't have a refined color palette, you just think it's black anyway.
All right, so guys, how's everybody doing? How's everyone's week?
I'll leave that up to you, Zach.
It's going pretty well, I would suppose. Is this the end of the week or the beginning of the week? Is this part of the week? I don't know.
To me,
Yeah.
it's the end.
Okay, it's the end. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. This is a great way to end my week. Get to spend some time virtually with some pals. The fact it's getting really warm out now. I mean, relative to our place in the country, yeah, it's
Mhm.
really warm. Got to get
Yeah.
outside a little bit. So yeah,
I know it was 70 degrees.
70
couple
on
days
Friday.
ago.
Yeah. I had to spend some
Yeah.
time on the deck.
Yeah, I was outside chilling with the kiddos. You got
I haven't
got a little color.
was
I haven't
golfing a
tanned.
little bit.
I haven't tanned since like 2019, so I'm gearing up for that.
Joe's like, I haven't been outside in 3 years.
I am a
I was going to
vampire.
ask if it was one of those things like you haven't tried, or it's just like your skin won't do it.
Debatable. I'm worried about. I'm worried about the burn. Worried about that burn.
Worried about that burn. I get pretty tan. I tan up pretty good.
I'm one of those people that burns first, and then it like turns into a tan.
Yeah.
The quick way. You just go out.
Were you ever
red.
tan? Were you ever tan when we went down to Florida, Zach?
I mean, not when we actually started to go down because it was winter, but probably when I got back, I hope I was a little bit. Oh, well, you remember that one year that I had the, the exclamation point tanned into my.
That's right.
chest?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I remember that.
So for everyone watching, I'll turn it into a short story. So at first, so this was like during, I don't know, the fall or something like that. So our friend Tori, she was on the soccer team and she was the goalie. And so we decided, some of the people in our friend group decided to like paint her name like on our chest, like TORI exclamation point. And guess what I was the exclamation point. It was literally like 50, 60 degrees outside and windy. And we went out there and we're doing like the whole fan thing. We're like, yeah, go Tori. And we had this body paint just on our chest, from like our chest to our stomach. And we burned. And just so you guys know, body paint makes great sunscreen because nothing happened under there. So I was like I was burned all except for like a square, like a rectangle, and like a circle around my belly button. Yeah, so I had like this exclamation point in my body. And then, as I said, my burn turns to tan. So in like a week, it was there for months. Like I was a swimmer. Of course, the one sport where you take your shirt off all the time. So even the next day, I walk into the locker room. I just take off my shirt, not making a fuss about anything. And literally it's 6:30 in the morning. So everyone's all like not paying attention. And then my one teammate, Brian, just like literally looks at me like a little bit and then he turns away and then he like double takes and then he just like points at me. And I'm just like, yep. And then I walk out onto the deck. I walk out onto the deck and our coach literally walks out of the office, looks me up and down once. He's like, wow. And then he walks away. That's it. That's all Greg did. And so I had that literally like all season. Every single opponent I ever faced, like behind the blocks, was like, what the heck happened there? And I'm like, I am just so excited. Excited to swim against you. Yeah. And every time I would like put forth a great effort, like my whole body would get red except for this stupid exclamation point. So it would like stand out more, like the more tired I was. It was crazy. But it makes a great story. It's your version of the Superman logo. So if you guys don't trust sunscreen, just put body paint all over you. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Exactly.
So, yeah, I was kind of like Superman, but I was exclamation point man. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a name. We had a name for it. Yeah, exclamation
excited
point,
man. Excited man.
That's what I was for Halloween too. Like I made fun of myself essentially by being the fictional superhero exclamation point man. So exciting. Or it's like the Metal Gear Solid thing with like just
I was just gonna say that too. Yeah, like
on my chest instead. Just like rip my shirt open, just like whoa.
Joe, we need a soundboard. We got to start doing like noises.
Oh, no, yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Hire someone.
We have all of our ideas.
Like, all the time.
Yeah, the buttons like.
I'm thinking of that Mortal Kombat laugh that we had first season.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to have the finish him.
Yeah.
And like that really like sparkly like wow, you know that one where it's like.
You're talking Owen Wilson?
No, yeah, Owen Wilson. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
love it, man. Love it.
Yeah, everyone loves quirky soundboards.
It's fun stuff.
Okay, so now how do we use that to segue into whatever we're doing?
Speaking of soundboards,
weird noise.
I have no idea. So, Joe, how was your week, man?
My week was good. I would say my happy. Do you want to go to happy crappy? My happy would probably be I played guitar for worship for church today, and it was fantastic. Invigorated me. And then I gave a message to the youth, so I had to put one hat on and then put the other hat on. Really good message about pride. So I was really happy to do that. And then my crappy. So I never told you this, Zach. You probably listened to the stream last week, but my car got hit. My car got hit about 2 weeks ago. It was a hit and run, so I wasn't near the scene. And the school bus that had hit me just completely left the scene. I wasn't there until like an hour later. It was not too bad a damage, but it was still like, who's the son of a gun that hit me, and I couldn't find
out of the car, issuing threats. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Darn tootin'. But it was I tried to find like one last chance to like get some security footage from down the street, and I was too late to get it because they wipe it after like 5 days. So I and I even did like a stakeout on Monday. I felt like a cop. I waited like at the exact same time that it was, and no dice. It sucked. And I didn't like get myself too worked up about it because I'm like, it's just fate. It was pretty funny. Like I could be a detective.
There you go.
Career change. Here we go.
Doing film noir. Could have filmed
Confirmed.
a documentary of it. Cool. Well, there you go. Zach, you want to go and do some happy crappies?
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, I'm gonna expand beyond the week since I'm not a weekly guest, so I'll take the next few weeks. So I've been so happy crap. They both kind of involve the same thing. So I've been traveling a lot recently, just kind of getting around a little bit. So my happy was I took a week and went down to Florida, just to kind of chill down there. Nice sunshine and everything like that. I mean, there was a little bit of business that had to be taken care of down there, but mostly it was like a vacation. And it was my very first like adult vacation. Joe, I know you've gone on like a billion trips by yourself, but this was like the first time that I actually took like a vacation by myself. And I felt really good about it. I didn't just like go down there and sit in the hotel the whole time. I like went out to the beach and to like state parks, and I actually practiced with some master swim teams because they let you drop in like for a fee and everything. So I was literally waking up on my vacation at 4:30 in the morning so I could go swim. And I was like, what am I doing? This is insane. But I had fun. I had a great time. And I really felt like I really used my vacation. And plus, Florida is awesome in the wintertime because it's like 80 degrees and it's like.
Now, what part of Florida were you in? I promise nobody in the chat's going to like try to track you down.
Naples. I was in Naples for. Well, actually, I was in Fort Myers for 2 days, and then like St. Petersburg for a day, and then Naples for 3 days. So like Southwest Florida. There's a pier there that apparently is one of the best places to see the sunset in like all of the United States. Nice. It's like a pier that literally faces directly west. It's about 100 yards to the end, and then you just watch the sunset. It was pretty cool. So saw some dolphins. That was awesome.
Nice.
So yeah. So that was, it was overall was a really good trip. I could go on and on about like the stuff that happened, but like, it was just a really good trip. And, I felt really good about it.
Meet anybody interesting?
It did meet quite a few people, actually. I mean, when you go to Masters swim team, there's one guy I met at one of the Masters swim teams. Now, of course, everywhere I go, people are asking like, where are you from? So I just say, I don't go with my hometown. I just say Scranton, Pennsylvania. And of course, every time I say Scranton, Pennsylvania, people's eyes go, The Office?
The Office.
And it's like, yes, The Office. The one guy at the Masters swim team literally asked me, do they do tours of Dunder Mifflin up there? And I'm like, Dunder Mifflin doesn't exist. And he's like, okay, well, what about the places that they shot, the show? And it's like, they never shot any of the show in Scranton.
No, they did like a couple, maybe like some background shots.
Yeah, the Coopers. They
Coopers.
They did. There wasn't the inside, but like the outside, they did do an image of Coopers.
They've done like the footage that's in the intro. That's all from Scranton. That's all real. John Krasinski apparently went to Scranton and filmed all of that.
Right.
But no scenes of the show were ever filmed in like multiple people. I've listened to many Office podcasts, and all the actors say they never went to Scranton. Ever.
Like for the actual film.
And that was their biggest regret, was that they never went to Scranton. They've been there for conventions and stuff, but they never filmed there. And then I'm like, well, you can visit places they talk about, like Lake Wallenpaupack, Lake Scranton,
that's not the same.
Coopers, Port Richards, all that stuff. That's all real. But Yeah, so that was one person I met. I met a bunch of people, like with these different things that I was going to. But yeah, so yeah, that was my happy. So crappy, another travel story. So then that was like 2 weeks ago that I went to Florida. So last weekend, this was just like a weekend thing. I went to Ohio for another thing, and was chilling around while I was there, and it was literally the crap. I literally had the worst hotel stay of my entire life.
Oh no!
I won't name the hotel because I don't want to badmouth them publicly. But okay, so what happened was, so I arrive at my hotel at like probably 9 o'clock in the evening. And it takes me a while to find, I check in, everything, hotel looks fine. It takes me a while to like find food and stuff, but that's like another part of the story. And then, so I come back. First strike against the hotel is that definitely it's not huge, but it's a little more conspicuous, but there was some stainage on the bed sheets. So that was kind of like, that wasn't the worst part though. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to take the comforter off. I'm going to avoid those parts of the bed. It's fine. And so I'm once again going to swim with the Masters team in the morning. I have to wake up at like 5. So I'm like trying to get to bed early.
Yeah.
But then I occasionally, when it gets dry out, I get like nosebleeds. So one of those, of course, happens. So in order to get to stop faster, you can use ice to try to do that. And I'm like, oh, hotels have ice machines. So I take my ice bucket. I saunter down the hallway with my nose like gushing blood onto a tissue, just like, oh, gotta go get some ice. I get to the end of the hallway, ice machine's out of order. So I'm like, of course, please go down to the first floor. I'm on the 3rd floor. So as I'm still like bleeding, I'm like, so I have to like run down all the way to the 1st floor, get my ice, come all the way back up. Then I take care of that. Eventually it stops. By the time everything's all said and done, it's midnight. I'm getting like 5 hours of sleep. So I go to sleep. So I'm sleeping and I have this weird dream that I'm in my hotel and that there's a beeping sound just like coming from nowhere. And it's, keeping me up. And so I literally get up out of my bed, go out into the hallway and try to figure out what this is. And for some reason, everyone's hotel room's open and you're allowed to go in everyone else's room and they're okay with it. It's just like, yeah, we don't know what that beeping sound is either. Well, you should try to find it. Eventually, I actually wake up and realize there's a real beeping sound happening in the hotel. And it's literally just like this
Your
beep,
alarm?
beep, beep, pause. No, just like a loud beeping noise coming from the hallway. And just like 3 beeps and then a stop. And then 3 beeps and then stop, just continuously. So I try like first just to ignore it and go to bed. That doesn't work for like 15 minutes. I get up and I finally like force myself to go out into the hallway and figure out what the heck this thing is. You might guess what it was.
Was it the fire alarm?
No. It was the broken ice machine. I have no idea why it was doing it. Like, I'm not sure if someone tried to use it, and it's like, hey, we're out of ice, just shut up. So I'm like, I could unplug. So I'm standing there like, I don't know what to do. It's like, it won't stop. And I'm like, I could unplug it, but it's not my hotel. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. So I go down to the 1st floor again, and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, the ice machine's beeping. It's just like it won't stop. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's being kept awake by this. And she's like, okay, I will come check in like 10 to 15 minutes. So then I go up into my hotel room and I just chill there. Like literally just those moments you just wait. It's just like, okay, now I'm just going to wait for it to stop. And literally it took like 20 minutes and then finally it stops. But by this time it's now 4:30 in the morning and I'm going to get like an hour more of sleep that I didn't actually get. And then I had to go swim, which was fun. I didn't have to. I could have opted not to, but I was like, I'm probably not going back to bed anyway. So I go, or I can sleep afterwards. So I go to the swim practice. It was fine. Come back. Like, okay, I'm going to take a nap before I have to do the other things I have to do. So I try to go take a nap. And apparently this hotel is under renovation. Like some of the rooms are being renovated while the others are still open. And it wasn't the room right next to mine, but it was the room 2 rooms down. They were renovating at 9 o'clock in the morning while I'm trying to take a nap. And there's like shop vacs going, they're hammering stuff. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Brutal.
Eventually, then I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to take a shower and then I'm going to get ready to go where I need to go and this to go. And so then I go to take a shower. And so it's one of those showers where it's just like one knob, like you turn it, it starts out cold. And like the more you turn it, like the hotter it gets.
Right.
So I first turn it on and it only goes to halfway and then it stops. I'm like, okay, well, that's just like the cosmetic thing, just is like doesn't match up with like how far it goes. That's fine. So I stand there and wait, and it's cold. And I'm like, okay, just time to warm up. That's fine. Wait like 2 or 3 minutes. It's still cold.
Still cold.
Okay, I flushed the toilet. Maybe it needs more time. About 5 minutes. It's still cold. It's not even lukewarm. It is cold. And I'm like, I have to. I can't.
Am I missing something? Is there a warm shower?
Public. Well, that's I was like trying to like without breaking it. I was literally trying everything I could to turn this thing more. And then I'm like, okay, I have to suck it up and I have to do the cold shower. I'm like, I live an okay life. Like, this is not the worst thing in the world. I'm used to having hot water. It's not the worst thing in the world for me to have to do this one time. All right. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to be mad. I'm just going to do it. And by this time, this is going so badly that it's almost humorous at this point. So what I do is I set up the bath mat, like literally outside of the shower. I take probably a good 2 to 3 minutes to mentally prepare myself and being like, okay, Zach, you're going to offer this up for the people of Ukraine and you're just going to do this. And so I literally jump in the shower. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where he like runs out to like throw the garbage away. You know, it's literally me just like I hop in the shower, like go around for like 5 seconds, like internally screaming and then like hop out. And then I like put the soap all of myself outside the shower and then proceed to do it again.
It's going again. Yeah.
To do it again and just get it all done. And then eventually I was all clean. It was probably a 10-minute process, but I was probably only in the shower for less than a minute. And then, and I was dreading the question as I was about to check out. I'm like, I hope they do not ask me how my stay was because I have to be honest and I don't want to be. They didn't, but I still told them like, hey, that shower is not working and you just need to do something about that. Everything else was like, whatever, but the shower I had to tell them about. So that was my hotel stay in a nutshell. So anyway, that was a really long, crappy. I'm sorry, I'm taking up so much time, but yeah,
that's fine.
The story needed to be told.
Yeah, that's a rough stay, man. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. If anybody who works at the hotel recognizes my face and I'm standing here, just know there are improvements to be made. I'm not going to say anything about where it was or who, but if there's a coincidence, just saying. It was a cheap hotel, I will say. I didn't pay that much to stay there, so I did get my money's worth, I guess.
Oh, okay. There you go. Sure. I'm trying to think if I had any like really bad hotel experiences, but I think I really haven't. So I'm sorry.
Well, that we know of. I mean, ignorance is bliss. that whole stain story that he brought up, that whole stain story that you just brought up, like,
yeah, yikes.
Once again, I assumed it was probably clean and sanitized, that they just didn't put. It looked like it had been cleaned. It just was not probably like they didn't put the stain remover in the wash or something. I don't care. I was like, and I'm one of those people that's not gonna go down to the front desk for the slightest little thing. Like, especially when it got to like the shower, I was gonna check out in an hour. I'm not gonna be like, excuse me, my shower's cold. Excuse me, sir, how long it is till you're leaving? Like 45 minutes.
I'll just do
another room right now.
I'll do it at the gas station shower. We're good.
Yeah.
Gas station shower. Nice. Well, there you go.
Those things are actually pretty clean from what I hear.
Yeah. The truck stops.
And they announce it over the intercom when it's ready. I always thought that was the coolest thing at truck stops.
Oh yeah, we always did that for a training trip. They said like your shower is ready.
Well, yeah, because it was like 4 a.m, and where else are we gonna get snacks and place?
I debated paying $10 for that shower.
Then we would have left you again. Then we would have accidentally left you somewhere for the 3rd time, Joe.
They always did. Yep. I'm sorry. I was in the bathroom.
You were a wandering. You were always wandering, Joe.
They always left. The coach bus always left me.
Joe, even the current swimmers kind of know about that.
Yeah, people don't even know.
Because they're always like, "Did we leave someone?" I'm like, "Let me tell you about someone who always got left." The legend of Joseph Butterwitz.
I love it.
Yeah, where's Joe? That still was a question for the longest time. Even the people who didn't know Joe anymore. Good stories, though.
All right. Let me dive
Anyway,
into mine
Josh,
real quick.
it's your
Yeah.
turn, man.
Okay, yeah. So let's start with my happy. So I had a really good week health wise. So I think I talked about it a little bit last time, but my family's doing like a weight loss pool kind of thing,
Right.
which is pretty cool. They're all motivated to do it. So my family, meaning like my parents and my brother and sister, which is really cool. So this week I went ham. I ate really well. I didn't eat ham, but I went ham.
Went ham on not ham.
But
So lots of healthy eating, fruits and veggies and chicken, and then lots of runs. I went.
I think there were lots of
every-
rum.
Lots of rum.
Yeah. You had lots of runs.
Why is the rum gone?
Yeah, and Claire was like, "Why is the rum gone?" Yeah. And so I went for 2-mile runs in the morning, and this was really cool because I used to be a runner in college, and then that kind of changed as I left school. But like now I'm trying to get back into it again, and it's been really nice. It's been really nice. Enjoying it like a lot, which is really cool. And so now I'm also at my lowest weight that I've been in a very long time. So
Congrats.
great. Very good. Very good. Yes, I've lost
That's
22 pounds since October, the end of October, which is
Wow.
cool.
Nice
And
job,
yeah,
man.
so that's my happy. And then my crappy is because I ran so much, I'm like really sore. My neck, especially my neck. I guess I'm like tense or something. And then I also need a new pillow, I think. But my neck's been like very sore.
Mm.
That's my crappy. But it was a great week.
Come to the chiropractor with me, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Same chiropractor. Go up to Connecticut and go to his chiropractor.
Yeah. We'll just go together. How about that? Yeah.
I did a chiropractor for a little bit. Joe, I remember you were talking about the apprehension like before like they do it. Literally the first time they popped my back, they did one of those ones like right in the middle of your shoulder blades, like they just like right down.
Yeah.
It cracked like 10 times and I involuntarily laughed as it happened. I'm not sure if it was just air coming out of my lungs or it just was so funny how tight my back was. It was kind of embarrassing actually.
Nice. There you go. How
I'm
about
laughing about it now that I think about it.
Well, at least air's coming out of the front and not the back, if you know what I'm saying.
I make for
Oops,
even a
sorry, Doc.
I make for a good time. Yeah. Love
I always tell him not to squeeze too hard.
Oh, you're the third guy today.
Hugs are difficult for me.
Oh, don't squeeze.
My uncle
Oh
used
man,
to do
I
that.
almost snorted.
Love it. So, guys, we got some viewers. I want to say hi to everybody who's watching at home.
Hello, hi,
Thanks for joining us today.
greetings, salutations, and
tuned in.
hellos.
Yeah, I just want to say hey to
I
Chris.
know you tuned in just to see me. I know you did.
Chris,
I'm gonna throw up your comment because you're an awesome guy.
Chris, we love you, buddy.
Appreciate you, man.
We love you too, Chris.
Definitely.
You were just with my bro a few seconds ago, but that's okay. He was hanging with Brendan,
Oh, nice.
my roommate for everyone.
And they're having a baby in a relatively short order.
Yeah.
Yes.
Having my baby.
A few weeks. That's
Not my
crazy.
baby. No. They have their own baby. I'm no.
Yeah. It's so exciting.
Joe's individual surrogate baby.
You are not the father.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, there you go.
It's so great of you, Chris, to have Joe's baby. Anyway. All right.
Yo, thanks guys. We are very excited to have my baby.
Yeah, it's probably a delay.
Everyone wants a little Joe.
You can't say
Yeah,
joke
but
without
congrats.
Joe. Congrats, you guys.
Yes, congrats, Chris, and your wife, and the baby to come. Exciting times.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Slow down. Oh, okay. All right.
Slow down now.
Yeah, Joe, come on.
Who started it? Me? Did I start it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely you. Yeah.
Chris started it by commenting. This is what happens when you comment.
There's also
Sorry,
like
we're
a
doing
late.
a terrible job. I'm sorry.
Blame the viewer.
No, Chris, you're awesome, man. We love you. You're the best.
Love you,
love
dude.
you, Chris.
You're in my top 10 Chris's. Probably top 3 Chris's.
Is
I'm
he number
gonna
10 or
say-
is he number 3?
You're not. You're top 1, Chris. Actually, don't tell any other Chris I know. Yeah, I said that.
So
I actually know a lot of Chris's. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm actually Claire and I we're planning on doing like a vacation the week after Easter, like the whole week.
Yeah.
And we were planning on doing like coming to Scranton to like hang out with people. So it would be really cool to like see you guys, see Zach.
Yeah.
Maybe
we're all going to Cooper's.
The baby Morrison. Yeah. So you'll hear from us. Lots of texts will be coming out soon.
I will anxiously be waiting.
Yeah, man. Be good to see everybody. Yeah, so we're planning on we're gonna do like a big road trip. We're gonna take the whole week. We're gonna do a Scranton stop. We're gonna go to like Hershey, and then we were going to go to Nashville, which I'm super excited about. So I've been wanting to see Tennessee forever, and so we're pretty stoked to go to Nashville. And we have some friends that are in Nashville, so gonna hang out.
What are you guys looking at? Some houses too. Wink, wink.
That's why I keep joking is that I'm gonna like talk it up.
They're never coming back.
You know?
They're gonna buy one while they're down there and then just never come back.
No, exactly.
They send for the kids, but then they never come back.
Bye.
Well, yeah, I said that I was gonna do like I was gonna like talk it up. I'd be like, they have grass. You're like, look at this grass. Look at these rocks, Claire. Look at the rocks. It's so great. This place is amazing. Like every little thing about Nashville.
Here.
There's no rocks in New York. We need rocks.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Chris, my man. I'm gonna throw your comment out. Scranton trip. Let's go, baby.
Boy.
Yeah. So the end of April, so the week after Easter, we're planning on doing a trip. So we'll reach out to you guys. I know because I'm assuming the baby will probably be around, but so we can talk about that. How we can help.
Yeah.
Love to see you guys. So.
How long has it been since you guys been to Scranton? To the
It's been a long time. I've been saying for years we wanted to do a Scranton trip.
October for me. You know the meet that we had, Zach.
Well, yes, you. I do remember that.
Well, since I've had kids,
time.
I haven't been down there. So at least 3 years. I'd probably say since college, since like my
those lovely Scranton mountains.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Wow. Unless we went before, but I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, we might have done
we had a wedding. We had a wedding,
wedding.
right, Josh?
Oh, Ronnie and Chris's wedding.
Yeah, Chris and Ronnie's wedding. That's right. But that was like right. Like Eli was like 3 weeks old when that was.
Yeah.
So that was the last.
Yeah. Because it was just you. I mean, Claire wasn't there. It was just you.
Right.
Yeah.
She had to take care of the youngin.
Yeah. Ye babe.
Yeah. Wow.
So cool. Okay.
Well, all right.
Want to move into timeline?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Throw up the thing, or do you want to just jump in, Joe?
Throw it in.
Let me throw it up.
We have these things for a reason.
That's right.
The
Hooray for the
future
lag.
is inevitable.
Yeah, the
but
lag.
let's travel back in time.
Wow. It's actually been a while since I've actually watched, so I forgot what the animations were.
I love our animation.
I'm pretty good. Yeah, the animations are good. Yeah.
Okay.
As well as our announcer. He's actually in the background. He's doing all of our sound effects.
Yeah, he's actually
How
in
much do
my
you pay
closet
him?
back there.
Oh, hello.
All that Josh has to do is put one key down. That's what he says.
He better be getting paid.
I have I have a shock collar on him, and I just shock him.
He's like chained to the booth.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. Love it.
He doesn't have any more work anymore since they don't do those voiceovers in movie trailers anymore.
No, exactly.
Coming this summer.
Yeah. In a world.
We're 3 people from college.
Oh yeah, the testosterone.
Meet up to talk about their happies and crappies.
And the timeline. So
let's jump into timeline.
All
Who wants to go
right,
first?
Today's March 20th. I'll go first. So March 20th, 1987, AZT is approved. So 1987, the Food and Drug Administration approved the sale of azithromycin. I'm totally butchering that pronunciation, mostly because I can't talk. AZT, it's a drug that's actually used to prolong the lives of AIDS patients. So a little known fact actually about this is that it was originally intended to treat cancer in 1924. But that didn't really go over so well in trials. So it had an unacceptably high unexpectedly high side effect profile. So AZT also, it does not destroy HIV when that came up later on in the 80s, but it just delays the progression of it and the replication of the virus. So generally it's used in a cocktail of like other drugs too to treat AIDS patients, but now it's also a preventative treatment.
Mm.
Thank you, AZT.
There you go. Good stuff.
Unacceptable high side effects profile. So it's like one of those things on the commercials where like they're
on
like
a long list.
the side effects are like almost like the Star Wars crawl.
But then you have like
Yeah,
those happy smiling people like, oh, there's nothing wrong with this drug.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And
Have you
then
guys
it
seen
has
the
like
Tim
13
Hawkins?
pages.
You seen the Tim Hawkins like the full
Yes.
full range of motion? Have you seen that clip?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like talking about the horrible side effects of like things. And he's like, oh, I have these like debilitating headaches, and I like I got the squirts, but I got full range of motion in my elbow. My elbow feels good.
I think Jeff Foxworthy also did like a skit about that, about like to get rid of itchy eyes, and like one of like the side effects is like death, and it's like, but
Yeah.
your eyes will be itch
Are no longer itchy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
All right, I guess I can go real quick because mine's pretty short. So on March 20th, 1991, Michael Jackson. You guys ever heard of Michael Jackson before?
Who's that? Is he one of the Jackson 5?
I've heard of Randy Jackson.
What about Tito? I've heard
Yeah,
of Tito.
dog. Well, in 1991, Michael Jackson signs a $65 million deal with Sony Records to produce 6 albums. Which I don't know if he actually produced all 6 of those albums before his death, but yeah, I just thought that was a lot of money. So it's like, whoa,
yeah,
baby.
I mean, anytime you put one of them millions on there,
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. But
It's
yeah,
just a
it's
number.
crazy. I mean, he was high demand.
That's true.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
King of Pop, baby.
mm.
Did anybody ever see that Finding Neverland documentary?
No.
No, neither did I.
Yeah, I heard it was.
I
very
hear
unpopular
terrible
and stuff.
things.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw the movie Finding Neverland, which was a completely different thing.
Yeah,
It's about the guy who wrote Peter Pan.
That's
With Johnny Depp in it.
a little different.
Let's Tarantino to that. That's a little bit more of a happy subject, no?
Love it. All right, Zach, go ahead, man.
Oh man, I got like 3 here, and I'm like debating which one I want to go with.
You can go 3 if you want.
Oh well, okay.
You can chat.
All right. Well, first one we'll go in order. Well, actually, let's go in reverse order. Actually, because you brought up the whole making deals and money and everything. So not too long ago, only 2 years ago, in 2020, apparently March 20th was the infamous day in which Tom Brady left the New England Patriots after winning 6 Super Bowls, and he went to Tampa Bay. Much to the devastation of New England, but to the joy of everyone in Tampa as he proceeded to win a Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Lead him next year. Yeah.
And apparently recently he like retired, but now he's unretired.
He's back.
So like he retired
back.
from Tampa Bay at the end of the season, and literally like I think it was 6 weeks at max, and now he might be coming back. So that man just can't stay retired.
Yeah, I saw all these memes that were like he had to go home and Giselle made him take care of the kids, and he was like, "I'm back."
I'm going
back,
home.
I'm coming.
I'm
And
not
guess
going
what?
home.
Gronk's coming with me again.
Yeah.
It's like Brett Favre. Like again, it's like something about being an all-star, super amazing quarterback. You just
stay out
can't
of
get
the
enough.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough. It's
I guess
crazy.
unless you're Peyton Manning. You did great, Peyton, and you called it quits, and you're doing awesome now in commercials. Keep doing what you're doing.
Love you, man.
Yeah. All right. So then going backwards in time, in 1999, Legoland, California, the first Legoland outside of Europe, opens in Carlsbad, California. So Legos is like a Dutch thing, right? It's from the Netherlands, I'm pretty sure. Legos are. So this is like they had Legolands in all over Europe. So it's essentially Disney World, but with Legos, which is amazing. And I'm not sure if you guys, I've never been to a Legoland, but I'm sure if you guys have seen those pictures. They like have these sculptures, like literally these humongous things like made of Legos. Like 2-story like sculptures of things just made all out of Legos. It's crazy.
Wow,
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
Josh,
guys
you and
big
I
Lego people?
haven't been to California, so but
I haven't been
definitely go to
either, but
Legoland.
No, I've been a couple times.
Really?
You have been?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
in
went.
California, he said.
Was it for singing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we did the tour my freshman year, and we went to all over California. We did San Francisco. We started in San Diego, and then we went all the way up to San Francisco.
Mhm.
And then I went to San Diego for our honeymoon, going on my honeymoon. This was before I hated California.
Well, maybe if you go see Legoland, you'll love it again.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Take Eli there.
Legos. It's great. Legos. Those things are crazy. Those things are so expensive these days. Have you like seen those sets that you have to pay like hundreds of dollars for now?
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
insane.
I think my parents
Still
put
amazing.
a cap on it. Yeah, my parents put a cap on it basically after 2003-ish. I had like this one huge like Star Wars one, and then I really wanted the Death Star one. I forget the timeline, but that thing was very expensive at the time. Still is.
Yeah,
Those things are.
Hard pass.
We had a Millennium Falcon, like a really big one.
Oh, same here. Yeah,
Mhm.
had that one. Were you guys like directions people, or were you like just get the Legos and build whatever the heck you want people?
Yeah, we
Definitely
did it
direction.
once, and then after we were tired of it, we would do that, just build whatever. So
was
I
kinda
had
like
we
that
had a
camp.
giant tub, like one of the huge, like big tub, like plastic tubs, just full of Legos. So my
Yeah.
brother and I, we would always make tons of stuff when we were kids. It was always a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was probably like same here. Like had some made with directions and others just like free for all, which
Yeah.
is like the subject of the Lego movie. Everyone go watch the Lego movie. It's awesome. Anyway,
Everything was awesome.
it is
I want to do your
until
last
the
one.
sequel when everything was. And then what?
Do you want to do your last timeline?
Do I? Maybe I don't. No.
No, I'm going to speak
yeah, so
in
the
a
la-
sultry tone for the rest of the episode.
Ooh. All right. Well, in 1930, March 20th, 1930, American fast food restaurant chain KFC, also known as Kentucky Fried Chicken, is founded by
I didn't
Colonel
know
Harlan
that.
Sanders in North. Oh, look, there he is, the beautiful man. He was
There he is.
in North Corbin, Kentucky. Well, I'm glad it was founded in Kentucky, or else I feel like that'd be false advertising. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
What's with the thing now? Like everybody was like, there was a time when like they had a bunch of celebrities be Colonel Sanders for some reason. Like in
Yeah,
the
it was a weird
commercials.
marketing thing that they did where it was just
Yeah.
like a bunch of different variations of him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that
The
was weird.
multiverse is real.
Mm,
Yikes.
but
Different
Yeah.
different
Do you
variants
guys-
of Colonel Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
it's true. Do you guys do the KFC at all?
Yeah, every now and again. I haven't. I mean, I haven't in months, but I did.
What have we done, Josh?
Understandable.
Chick-fil-A?
Ooh, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, that's my baby.
I
That's
feel
my
like-
baby. I love Chick-fil-A. It's God's
We
chicken.
just got a Chick-fil-A here. First time in like there's a Chick-fil-A now in Scranton. So as you can imagine,
Really?
traffic has gotten a lot worse around that area.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Every Chick-fil-A I've ever been to. So there's like, I think there's 3 on Long Island, and every single one is completely. It's always packed. Like it's always.
Yeah.
There's always a line
crazy.
because everyone loves it. It's so good.
It is. But then
And
they
it's
do
the best
such a good
service.
job with the long lines though.
They do.
Like
They
it's
really
so
do.
efficient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Like why
They
is no
really get
other
everything.
fast food restaurant doing like the walkers up the sides? Like I don't get it.
Yeah, well, because they don't get
No.
nearly as many people.
And they have
true.
like all those iPads just to help them out, like
Yeah.
streamline the process.
It's great, man. And then
Exactly.
they do the just remote pay like right there.
yeah.
great.
And the food is amazing. It's
Yeah.
just it's very good.
It's my favorite chicken sandwich.
Their beef selection could be a little bigger, but I mean
Defeats the purpose. Love it.
All right. So we're gonna dive into our topic for the day, I
Our
guess.
discussion.
All right, what is man? What is man?
What is man?
What is man?
What
and-
is man?
What is?
What's your
man?
definition? What's your definition?
What is man?
Maybe we should clarify for everyone that we don't mean like a male,
No.
like we are all male men. That we're talking about man as in human.
We're male men.
Human.
We're
Human.
male men.
Yes.
Male
We're
men.
male men.
Oh,
Didn't
I
you
thought,
see me outside
I
your
thought,
house this morning giving you your mail?
I thought you were. I thought you were a swim coach, Zach.
Good one.
I moonlight as a as a midnight mailman. I bring you your mail in the
At
middle of the
midnight.
night while you're sleeping.
I thought you were a Malican.
Yeah. Wait. What? This should totally exist.
Midnight mailman.
Yeah. Nocturnal
Midnight mailman.
mailman.
I think we should. I mean, like, that's the least amount of traffic. I feel like that's the best time to deliver your mail.
That's true. That's true.
They just like knock on your door. I have your Amazon package.
Yeah.
USPS, if you're listening, so start throwing out some ideas. Night shift
For your new business model.
Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious.
So what does it mean to be human?
Human.
Okay, so man, they can set aside their emotions, allowing, reason to dictate their actions as to voso emotions, but every animal, because humans, we technically are animals, but animals that we know of, they're ruled by fight or flight. So it's quite necessary to have this, you have to have fight or flight, in order to avoid the predator, because you are the prey, in order so that they don't eat you, but it's a characteristic of every single animal on the face of this earth, except human beings, of course. Not every human, because, man, they're past masters at setting aside emotion and using reason to figure out the best solution to an issue, a problem.
Yeah. I would say that what makes us human, I mean, if you want to talk from a religious standpoint, but this is also a little bit of a practical standpoint. I mean, the two things that separate us from all other, well, not created things, all other physical things, is that we have both reason, as you were saying, Joe. We have the ability to contemplate our own existence. Like, we have the ability to think and reason and to rationalize things. We have to like evaluate choices. So the ability to contemplate, and then we have free will. We have the ability to choose. Like, as you were kind of implying, like, animals are, I don't want to say slaves to their passions, but like they're driven by it, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, because that's what they need to survive and like all that stuff. And that's how they perfectly exemplify how they are, like how they live out what God created them to be. So like, as you said, fight or flight, like, I'm hungry, I need food, our species needs to reproduce. So let's, mate, things like that.
What does
they
that
make
mean?
choices. Well,
Multiplication.
Do we need to have the talk, Joe? Joe, we talked about this before we went live. But going off of that, I mean, like, yes, like animals, like they're driven by that. Like, either like, you might even set food out in front of them and like choose this or that, but they are going to pick based on their instincts they think is better for them. Whereas we as human beings, we have free will to choose even the thing that's not the best, or even the thing that might not be good for us. Or like, we have the choice to make the illogical choice, or we have the ability to make the illogical choice. Like, so we are completely free to make those right or wrong, good for us or bad for us. We have the ability to choose. So that's what kind of makes us different, is that we have those instincts that all those animals do, but we have the ability to choose whether or not we act on them. In certain senses.
There's a story that I have, and possibly it's applicable to that situation. There are these two cops, just a hypothetical situation. They're walking towards a building, and then they notice that they're being shot at by a shooter, with a machine gun held up in some building on some city street. Now, both of these cops, they do the exact same thing, like what we all would do. We would turn and run for cover. It's gunfire, of course, right? But one of them acted like human, heroically, the other one acted like based on fight or flight. One cop saw gunfire, and he allowed his fight or flight response to dictate his own actions. Fear drove him to do what he did, run. And then the other cop also felt fear, of course, because it is machine gun fire. But he didn't allow that fear to rule him, Instead, he looked up to see if he could do anything in the current situation, try to see if he could maneuver and make his position to be better so that he can take out the assailant. Looks at the situation, might find a solution, but he looks at this abandoned building for some cover. And then that's where he goes to get a little bit of cover until he can remedy the situation. He's a man using reason to guide his actions. But, once the shooter reloads, So that's a little bit of a break in the gunfire. In that, then the cop comes out and shoots him, saves the day. You know, difference between success and failure is that our willingness to set aside, emotion, because a lot of people are, as we know of this day and age, are slaves to our emotions.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that can really, distort our ability to reason when the emotion kind of takes control. And so that's something that a lot of people who are trained in stuff like criminal justice and to act and to think and to try to reason through those feelings, because everyone gets the initial adrenaline when they see some gunfire. Like you're gonna feel those things, and then if you're not trained to like, well, this is how you actually respond to this, as opposed to just doing what comes instinctive, doing what comes in, naturally within an instant, like that, this is something that just lost my train of thought. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I also think also we need to clarify, though, that for anybody listening, we're not necessarily saying also that emotions or feelings are bad, or that reason is the opposite of emotion. I mean, emotions are important. Like, you don't want to be like a Spock, essentially all driven by reason and logic. I mean, the emotion has its part, but reason is almost, I guess, meant to be a filter for emotion, because our emotions do drive us to good things.
Yes.
I mean, like, obviously, like, the feelings of attraction towards someone you love is a good thing. The fact that you are scared in that situation is not necessarily a bad thing, because obviously if you assess through reason that it is, like, I mean, obviously that's a threat and you should be afraid of a threat. Like, something that could kill you is something you should be afraid of. But you can use reason to filter out, is there anything I can do about this, and act courageously. You can choose, as I was saying before. But like, not every emotion is bad.
Right. And they're just, I mean, if you think about it, both are like individual responses that we take to try to defend ourselves and defend our lives. Like, I'm going to fight so that I don't die. I'm going to run so I don't die. So, like, just depending on the scenario and all that.
But
but there's some more like practical scenarios. I know we won't all be like in the face of gunfire, thank God. God forbid. But it's not just the fear of like gunfire. I'm sure there's more like practical scenarios and a lot more relatable scenarios. The potential of getting into an argument with somebody, if they're trying to really take jabs at your personality and who you are as a character. There are a lot of emotional responses that can come from that. Another one could be marrying or getting together with the wrong person, because you're only focusing on the physical about them, and that just overwhelms everything rationally that we think of. They have the worst of values, but we want to get together with them anyway. That's all fueled by emotion. It's so important because it's not out of a sense of pride, like, oh, I'm a man, I control my emotions. No, it's not about that glorification. It's just striving to use reason and logic in order to have the best situation, best scenario, not out of not out of like self-serving. I think you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. But once again, like, using reason to guide your emotions and to choose when you should let those like come forward. Like in the example about choosing who you want to marry, you don't want to base your whole decision off who you're going to marry off of logic, because of like, you're not like attracted to a person, then you probably, not that you have to be attracted to them like your entire life, like, like, I know physical attraction is something that goes up and down, like, not throughout your entire life, but if it's someone you're absolutely not attracted to, like, you shouldn't probably marry that person. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it can't be all X's and O's, like that type of thing. There's got to be a half and half, like,
and that's the beauty of the human person. That's the beauty of the human person. The fact that we have that capacity, we're body, mind, and soul. So we're feeling, we're reason, and we're physical, like, whatever, like actively pursuing these things. This is the cool aspect of humanity,
Yeah, we are like the only beings that exist that have, as you said, Josh, like all these things together. I mean, there's other things, once again, depending on your faith and everything like that. I mean, there's things that are purely physical, there's things that are purely spiritual, but we as humans, we're both, like, we are a little bit of each, with capacities of each,
body, soul composite.
Yes. And in that way, and that like ability to choose, and like, I mean, that reason. That's what allows us to have our greatest aspects, like our ability to love. Like love is a choice. You know, it's something we can choose to do. Unless you choose to love, it's not really love. Like, oh wait, I think we have a question here from Chris Morrison here before I continue on.
Yeah, put it in.
Yeah, let me throw it.
We also have some people. We have some people quoting School of Rock.
I was trying to like rack my brain over what that was. Right, so
Can we ever over reason? Meaning that we
Can
get
we
stuck in a
ever
loop of
over-reason?
asking too many why questions, that it drives us towards mental instability.
Yes, we totally can. We totally can.
Yeah.
And I think in my relationship with Claire, and my wife Claire, this is a good example, because oftentimes we were just talking about like moving away, right?
Yeah.
So asking those questions and seeing how many like outcomes that could exist, it freezes you when you try to think about every scenario.
You get kind of sick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an
paralysis by analysis. Yeah,
exactly. And so that totally happens. So, and I think that's when we talk about faith and spirituality, like that's a big part of that too. Oftentimes for us is like prayer can help us point us in a direction that we want to go in, as opposed to just constantly thinking. But then there is that other human element of just acting, like just do it, and then
just start doing stuff.
What the outcome be, so there's that too. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think our lives exist like very much on a balancing scale. There's can be like kind of what Chris says, like there's too much why, there's too many asking questions, too much like thinking, like overthinking. But then there's the impulsiveness of not thinking. And I think we're called to be somewhere in the middle. Like we're supposed to reason through it, but not reason so much that we don't act. There's got to be like thinking and acting together.
Exactly. I think
as you said,
go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say that's where, as you said, that's where kind of faith comes in. It's another one of those virtues that's a choice that we're capable of doing because we can choose to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So I've come to realize over the past couple of years that I'm like a really impulsive person. So I act solely on my emotions and like wanting things. Like if I there was a point where I would like see like a sandwich in a commercial, and then I'd be like, I want that. I would go and get it.
Darn you,
Somebody
marketing.
Here I come.
Yeah, exactly. It worked on me. But then having like my partner, my wife, be complete opposite, where she's not at all impulsive, where she's very like reason and all of that, to like think through things and like, okay, let's take a step back and like let's put emotions aside and like talk about, like, it really helped me to see that, like what we're talking about, like the beauty of both and having a balance in between if you have an emotional response, which is good. It's good to have emotional responses, but then what do you do with that emotional response? I get to think about
I'm too much in the over reason category, the paralysis.
Yeah. I think I was going to say that about you, Joe. I mean, I think I'm slightly leaning more in your camp right now, Joe, than I used to be. I think a little bit more like Josh, but I think recently I've been like in my adult life since college, I think I've been way more like way overanalyze. But then I've also come to realize that one of these things too is how much why you ask also depends on like how big and important a thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think sometimes like why, or what's the reasoning behind like who you marry, like what's your job going to be, like should I move, like all those really big decisions. It's like you should think a lot of whys, you should think a lot of reasons, but like in some cases, like am I going to get the number one or the number two at McDonald's, for example, is not something I think that you should be overthinking. It's just like, oh my gosh, like what should I like? Let me lay a list of pros and cons to each of these things. Sir, I need you to order now. Give me a minute.
I just need more questions. I need more answers.
Can you give me?
No, exactly. So that's why I'm like big, because obviously, like I just said, I'm super impulsive. So that's like how I respond to things, is like, because I think emotions are good, and so therefore like action and activity is like how you really accomplish things. And not to say that obviously reasoning is you should always reason. It's not like you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be thinking and asking those why questions. But that's the thing. If you get stuck in those scenarios, then are you really living? Are you really experiencing like your life and the existence, if you're kind of just wondering and asking those questions constantly, but so I mean, it's a balance of the two.
Good.
Balance of the two.
it falls under this word that we like to call discernment.
Yeah.
Discern.
I was
People
wondering when
of
we
faith
get into
and
that.
not of faith. Yeah. Even not of faith. I mean, technically discernment's the word for like trying to make decisions.
Just
But
making
yeah.
decisions. Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially with like vocational things, right? I mean, we can talk about this for weeks and weeks and weeks about discernment with vocations, whether it's marriage or whether your job or like whatever it is.
Like what you're supposed to do in life. Yeah. Which is the biggest thing. I think that's one of the things that, going back to Mr. Morrison's question, is that like thinking too much wise. Like that's one of the things that you can like probably drive yourself nuts about, like thinking too long and hard about. I mean, you should think really long and hard about your purpose in life, but that's one of those existential topics that become like, that can like blow up. So if we're taking it to the macro end of like, I think the implication of Chris's question, like those big questions of why, like, why do I exist? Why, what is my purpose in life? Like all of those whys. I think that definitely, if you don't have a stable foundation, if you do that too much, I think that can drive you towards some, I don't want to say mental instability sounds like a little harsh, but like some complications, I guess.
I just said paralysis. I think that felt okay.
But
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You need to have some sort of groundingness, some grounded mechanism. And I think at least for the three of us here and for a lot of people, you know, faith is that thing that, you know, that kind of grounds us when we start swimming into those questions. It's like that grounding force, like that tether that you can like hold on to.
Yeah, and really kind of like an endpoint, you know, like that, like a focus, something you can focus upon, which can kind of you know, aid you in making decisions and choices, because it like kind of hones in on like, you know.
Yeah, what do you mean by that endpoint? Basically seeing the goal and then working backwards?
Yeah, kind of like that. I mean, you know, as people of faith, like, you know, our goal is heaven, and our goal is to leave like the best impact on people's lives, and to serve and to love and to know our fellow man. And so like if that is like our focal point, if that's our focus, then all of our decisions are kind of meant to achieve that, you know. So like, who am I going to marry? Well, someone who's going to help me get there, someone who's going to help me achieve those things. Like, what's my job going to be? Well, something that'll help me, hopefully aid me in accomplishing that one goal. And so that's why I just love being like a faithful person, because I think that it really puts so much purpose into the human experience.
Exactly. And goal, like, the purpose, the goal, like that type of thing. As I said, like the grounding, like that's, I think, you know, you've got to find your grounding, your tether, your anchor. That's a good word. There we go.
Anchor.
I'm going through a bunch of words, thinking the right one. Anchor.
Tether, like other nautical terms, like sail. No,
no. A kite. No, that's the wrong thing.
There you go.
Yeah, we're meant to love and be loved. That's, you know, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. So when I would do,
it's good.
When I was working as a minister, that was my whole thing. Like my first experience. So I'll go into the classroom a lot of the times, just to see like 8th graders and stuff like that, just to talk to them and kind of hang out with them and stuff. And one of the things that I love was in the beginning of the catechism. It would talk about like, what is man? Like this kind of question, and to say like, well, you're created in the image of God, who loves you, who, you know, made you for himself. And I think for people to know that and to understand that, and obviously everyone is in different walks of life in different places, but I think that's one thing that like really helps with that goal and that focus and that attention. It's just knowing that you're like made by and for God. Like there is a creator who loves you and is seeking you, and all of that is something that can help make you know, your human experience. But then also like a part of that is to be known, to know, to love, and to be loved, right? Like and I think to know and to be known is like a really crucial part of our human experience, because if you're not known by anybody, and if you don't know other people, then you're kind of missing out on the concept of community, which is something we could also talk about and take into a huge direction, is just the importance of community, you know.
And that's how good. Even for us as human, community means something much different than like for animals, of like having a flock or a herd or something like that. It's having community is like, that's another thing that makes us man, the unique way in which we build community. And use community. I mean, that could be
Yeah,
a whole nother.
exactly. And that's kind of like the
Mm.
stepping, like the direction that we're going in, right? So like human is like reason and then emotion, but then also how do you do that within the population? You know, how do you
Mhm.
make those decisions? How do you feel those things in the midst
Yep.
of other people through their others, you know, other people's experiences?
Mm.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. This could be Joe. You asked like one of the
Like
one of the most
yeah.
impactful questions. Is what makes us human? And it's like, wow, we could literally talk for days about this.
And people have for years, you know. I mean, since the beginning
some
of
people write
humanity.
stuff.
You know?
And we solved it just now.
Boom! So subscribe, like and subscribe.
The answer is we are dancers. All right.
Love it. All right, well, guys, want to wrap it up? You think?
Yeah. So what we want you all to do right now is subscribe to Feeling Grounded Podcast. Right now, follow us on Twitch. We live stream every single Sunday at 3 p.m. And then we can back catalog all of the episodes that we do onto YouTube. Also 3 p.m. on Fridays. So the following Friday. And then after YouTube, it goes onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other mediums that we have on our Instagram page. Also follow us Instagram page. It's at Feeling Grounded Podcast. That is our handle, at Feeling Grounded Podcast. We put a lot of extra content that we genuinely love to put out there. Josh and I were the hosts. Yeah. And thank you, Zach, for coming on to this.
Thank
and
you, man.
please
This
make
was such a nice discussion.
Thank you guys for having me. I always love being on this thing. This is a great topic. I love this. So
thank you, Chris, for your questions on
Chris
our philosophy, and thank you also to SPV Labs. I can't understand your Chinese characters. If they are Chinese, I'll have to double check. But I can't wait to. And then we also have White Sugar Night. I love School of Rock, and I will watch it tonight just for you. Please comment on all these streams that we do, plus also on YouTube. Just trying to like get that algorithm up. Yeah, follow us on all of our mediums. We appreciate you all.
Oh, love you too, Chris.
Love you, Chris, man. We'll talk soon.
And everybody else watching, in a very
Yeah.
general sense, not a very, we love you, all of you viewers.
Yeah.
You got questions?
Yo, feeling grounded.
Grounded.
Take care, guys. See you next Sunday, 3 p.m.
Bye, guys.